Hey my beautiful friends, thanks for tuning in. So I am late to the game, but this is a collab video that I'm joining in with Shalise from Sodbuster Living. I love Shalise. She's one of my dear friends here on YouTube that I've gotten to know outside of YouTube, along with all these other mamas here on YouTube that are sharing and this collab as well. So I wasn't gonna join because a lot of these mamas are true Advent readers and I'm not. But I thought that coming from a different perspective would be fun in case one of you mamas out there are just like me who struggles with reading. And so I just thought it would be fun to just share my perspective. I'm not one to pick up books that are humongous and thick. I just cannot. I am a slow reader. It just how it happens for me. I don't know if it's because how I grew up I didn't read much, or I don't know, but I am a slow reader. So picture books for me seem a lot easier. Poems, like poetry books, and just fun rhyming books are so much easier for me to read with my kiddos. But I do have some books that I have read, that I'm currently reading, and that I totally recommend. So I thought I would just join in. And I love seeing a lot of these videos already. I've seen them. And actually Elizabeth from A Beautiful Journey kind of encouraged me to do this video because her picks were like something that I would pick. So she really did encourage me to join in. So with that said, I do want to share some books that I have read and that I'm currently reading. So the first one I'm going to share is the Read Aloud Revival by Sarah Mackenzie. The reason I love this book is because it teaches me the importance of reading out loud to my children. So I love reading this book. Of course, I only ended up on page 100. But I'm starting to pick it up again. I wanted to read one of the quotes here that totally caught my eye as I was looking for books for this collab. It says here, the act of picking up a book and reading it for no other reason than enjoyment can open the door to significant impact. So what I love about this book is her experience and how she grew up reading, and how she fell in love with read alouds and picture books, because she's like a picture book buff, which I love. I actually almost always use her picture book recommendation monthly list that she has, and I just love her passion for books. So when I picked this up, I started reading it and I couldn't put it down. So it was a great read. I have a few notes here and there, but it's one of those books that I ended up on page 11 and I didn't pick it up again. I mean, sorry, page 100. So I need to continue reading it and finish it. At the end of the book, she gives a lot of read aloud recommendations for each age, which is great. And again, I just use her list. And she's so funny. A lot of the things that you're going to read here are her experience with her children. One of them that stood out to me is how I think it was her twins were having like a full-blown tantrum, and she just picked out a book and started reading in the middle of their crying. And they stopped crying eventually and joined her in the read aloud, which I thought it was so funny. Not something I would do, but I thought it was great because she finds connections with books with her kids, and it's just become her lifestyle. So I love that about her. I love the funny stories here. There's so many. So that's a recommendation for me and for me to finish. Another one is, and I left my notes over there, Pride and Prejudice. This actually, I picked it up and read it in 5 days. Now this is a revised copy for young readers. Again, I said I was a slow reader and I need easy language for myself. So I picked this up because my girlfriend totally dared me to. She was reading her Pride and Prejudice, is the thicker one, the original. And I said to her, I'm not gonna be able to read that one, but I'll read this one. I have the revised for modern readers. So I couldn't put it down because I was comparing this to the movie, which I owned. I love the movie so much. It's the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice. I think her name, I forgot her name, the actress, but she's a very famous actress. Anyways, I read it in 5 days, you guys, and I fell in love with the whole story behind this book all over again. So again, it's one of those movies that I watch just like anytime, and I end up watching it twice in like 1 week because I love it so much. But the book was so fun to read too because it really showed a difference between the book and the story in the movie. And I was able to say I love the movie more than the book. So anyway, it was fun. So if anything, I would recommend you guys to read a book that you already saw the movie on. That would be a recommendation that I can give you that might get you excited about reading a book. So this one I'm recommending. It's a Christian book that I read with my church sisters, and it's called Walking with God in the Season of Motherhood. It's actually a devotional. It's an 11-week devotional Bible study, and we did this together, and it was so amazing, so encouraging. I wanted to kind of read to you a few quotes that stood out to me. And again, it's like a Bible study, so I'm literally writing in the book as I'm reading it. We did it together with my church. So a few things just to give you hints of what the book is about. So it says here, God created the family unit. It says to be the foundation for all other relationships, the building block of society. If home life does not prosper, then all of society will fail to prosper. For this reason, God calls us to be careful in how we live within our homes. So it's definitely a soul searching and Bible study, Bible searching, kind of putting the pieces together of how your home can be a godly home and represent God's love and so forth. This one says, knowing that God is watching over all the details of our lives allows us to entrust all the details to Him. And then another one here, I kind of skipped one over here. It says here, it says, while it may seem that loving our families would be the most natural thing to do in this world, sometimes loving those nearest and dearest to us simply seems beyond our ability. So I love that this is broken up into themes, and there is anxiety here. It touches on anxiety, on let me see if I can just give you and just motherhood in general is really hard, especially when you have multiple children. It says that understanding your purpose, knowing God's word, and trusting your child to the Lord, ordering your home, reflecting the heart of God, encouraging and a thankful spirit, fighting against anxiety and worry, letting go of the harshness of and anger, training hearts through discipline, guiding in godliness by example, and then the last one is recovering from perfect mom syndrome. Such an encouraging read aloud reader, especially as you're going through the God's word and piecing together how God's word teaches us how to be the best mothers we can be. And this one says it too. This last one, this last quote that I put here, loving and raising your children today is a divine calling. Never doubt the value of your work. It is good. So it was so encouraging when we were doing it together. And we did it about 8 months ago, I would say. So I have notes here that I can go back on. It's a reflecting read. And it just teaches us that we're not alone, that God intended for us to have joy and happiness in our home and enjoy motherhood. So I totally recommend this one. Again, it's a devotional, so it's something you could do throughout the summer. And then this one I'm actually reading, and this is why I said that Elizabeth, her video encouraged me to do this, because this is something that I'm totally late in the game. I guess if I had girls, I probably would have read this already. But Little House on the Prairie, this is for boys and girls, but I feel like it's very wholesome and heart moving, and like girls enjoy it more. I don't know if I'm wrong, but Little House on the Prairie, my son actually likes this too, because we are big on like that wholesome long time ago living, and we enjoyed Boxcar Children, which would be number 5 for me. I have it downstairs. I didn't get it for the video, but the Boxcar Children, it's a whole series, and we read up to like book 5. We loved the Boxcar Children. When we were reading, we couldn't put the book down, so that's number 5 for me. But this is number 4, The Little House on the Prairie. And this kind of, the reason I started reading this is because my son started reading bigger books. He's reading, let me just bring this. He's reading books like this. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is the second book that he's reading. He's almost done with it, you guys. And he's also has been reading other books that he really enjoys, graphic novels. That's his stage right now. And I wanted to show him that I can read a thick book like him, or a little bit thicker. And I had this in my library that I bought it last year, and I said, you know what, I'm going to finally read this, because I hear so much good stuff about this Little House on the Prairie. I've never seen the series. I've never seen like the movie or the TV show. I know I've never seen it. I'm so late in the game, you guys, but I'm enjoying this so much. So I'm excited that I finally picked it up. I'm in chapter 7, and I'm hoping that this is my summer read, that I finish it before the summer's over. I think I will. I'm making time for it. So yeah, so those are my 5 recommendations, and I thought it would just be fun to join in a different perspective, because it is harder for me to read, but nonetheless I still enjoy a good book. Those are my top picks, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my books. Please check out the playlist. There's so many moms that are joining in this collab, and I love their videos already. So go check out the playlist and leave me your recommendations, and if you have read any of these. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.